I'm going to speak about the social networks and research on social networks, and more particularly the cognitive aspects of social networks. Please don't do the flash because it disturbs me. Thank you very much. So the cognitive aspect of social networks and how we can use the social media on the internet to manage knowledge. And you see that I will distinguish two aspects in this knowledge management process: the personal knowledge management and the social knowledge management. So this will be the core of my presentation. But I will begin by a long philosophical introduction. So I hope that you will be able to concentrate and to listen carefully, because it will be rather complex. First, when we speak about the social, better like this, okay. When we speak about the social networks, we should remember the work of some interesting researchers, and I would like to mention them here. For example, maybe you have heard of this political scientist, American political scientist that is called Putnam, and who spoke about the importance of social capital and a relation between people to have a vibrant democracy. So this is a very important author in the field. Of course, you know maybe Manuel Castells, who wrote these three books on the networked society and the information age. You should know also a researcher called Barabasi, who tries to create what he calls a science of networks, not only social networks, but all kinds of networks. But of course, the social networks is, in his mind, part of this new science of networks. Maybe you have heard of this sociologist called Granovetter that discovered the importance of what he called the weak links, because you have strong links between, let's say, the members of the same community, the same family, the same neighborhood, but you have also weak ties between people belonging to different communities, and in the general functioning of the society, these weak ties play a very important role. And I should mention also Barry Wellman, who is now at the, I don't know, maybe he's retired, but he's at the University of Toronto, and he tried to develop a whole sociology based on networks of individuals. He tried to understand the functioning of the society, not in terms of community or in terms of social classes, but in terms of networks of individuals. And he makes a relation between the networks of people and the communication networks, and especially the digital communication networks. So there is already a very rich tradition of study and of reflection about the social networks, and I'm going to assume that you know already everything that all these authors have I'm not going to repeat. Okay? But I mentioned. Well, okay, as I said, I will replace the notion of social network into a general approach, a more general philosophy that is basically my philosophy. So at the beginning it will be a little bit abstract because for me we cannot understand social networks if we don't understand human communication, and we cannot understand human communication if we don't understand symbolic communication and manipulation of symbols, and finally, what is, anyway, a symbol? Okay? So I will go back to this notion of symbol manipulation, and I will try also to sketch a kind of unitary vision of the world in which we humans live, based on this notion of symbol. Once I will have do this, I will concentrate on the question of knowledge management, as I said, and I will finish my presentation by evoking some possible future developments. Please remind me your name. Barbara? As Barbara said, I'm working currently on a meta-language, a computable meta-language that tries to solve certain problems that I will evoke during the course of this presentation. So I will say some words about IEML, but I cannot present the whole project. Okay. So first, let's look at this slide that I presented yesterday evening. First, to remember that we cannot isolate the networks of people from other networks. Okay? And if we want to understand social networks, we should also understand the way the people and the networks of people are related to networks of communication, to networks of equipment and material technologies, to the biological networks of the environment, and also the way the people are related to knowledge, how they are related to governance, to values, to rights, to duties, and finally how they are related to, or how they are part of networks of skills, of know-how, of economic networks, and so on. So sometimes the people who are specialists of one particular domain tend to isolate this domain from the rest of the interdependence of all the networks. Okay?